I don't know. Let's see if it works. Boom, boom. Oh, where am I? Where am I? Let's see. Let's see. Is this thing working? It is. It's working. Okay. So. Okay. It is. It's working. I got to turn my speaker off. So. Okay. It is. It's working. There we go. No more back feed or whatever. It looks a little choppy. There we go. Jeffrey. Okay, what am I doing? I need to find someplace to put my phone so I don't drop it. Right there. Okay. So. Perfect timing. I came down here a little bit earlier and cleaned up a little bit, moved some stuff around, but I did not do the hokey pokey. I thought about it. And I worked on the Corsairs a little bit. I want to get the paint on this thing. I've been dinking with this silly thing for a few years. And you know, this thing is kind of had the perfectionist in me just going crazy with it, and I'm about ready to just sand it up real quick and be done with it. But that's a whole different story. So I worked on the Corsair decals a little bit more today. So I wanted to show you guys those before we went any further. Let's see here. So I actually went and put another coat of Mark Fit Strong on it this afternoon, but as you can see, they're looking a lot better. This one looks pretty good. The other one here, there's still some issues, and I'm just gonna have to play with it some more, but they're a lot better than they were. What I did was I think this is like the 4th application of Mark Fit Strong, and I've been putting that on and then dampening it out, you know, rolling it with a Q-tip or whatever like this, or even rubbing it. And then I went back this afternoon and I hit it with 8,000 grit, the little sanding stick, just to get the ridges off, because you know there's some wrinkles in there, and they were what am I thinking? They're really pinched. Is that what I'm trying to say? They're pinched so that they're really they're not like a bubble. They're a wrinkle, a tight wrinkle. So the thought was I could go in there with that sanding stick, sand that ridge out of that wrinkle, and it wouldn't be noticeable because it's not a tear, it's not a bubble, it's just a wrinkle, and there's still plenty of color there. And it seems to have worked. So I'm pretty happy with these. They're good enough, put it that way. So yeah, and then yesterday or last night, having a conversation with actually with Racer 25 there. I think I told him I had 17 kits started, and it's more than that. It's I'm not sure how many. I think it's a pushing 20. That's horrible, really. But I know people that have started kits in the triple digits. So what do you do? So what I want to do tonight, my goal tonight, or for this hour or so, is to start getting the color on here. I fixed the bottom of this thing. I had to respray this back here. It looks pretty good. You know, it's a I think I bought this for $1. I know it was less than $5 at a swap meet or something, so I'm not too concerned about where we end up with it. And I know that statement may not make sense to some people. They go, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it just means that I can be a little bit freer with it, and it won't bother me. You know, if you have something like the B29 that I have, that you have $300 worth of photo etch, you know, then you tend to get a little anal about those things. So I'm just going to kind of put this in here a little bit so that I can spray this. And so what I decided to do is I'm using early Israeli colors, and I've already mixed these up earlier today to make sure that these jars were good. I bought this polyscale rack and all these polyscale paints years ago, when the polyscale line got discontinued, and that's why I have them. But oh, I don't want this. This is the bottom color. That's how I ended up with them, but the problem is some of them are pretty old and they're kind of turning into rubber in the bottom on some of them. So I'm trying to get this all worked out. I guess what I'm saying is I'm running into instances where I have oh boy, I need to clean those later. So I'm running into instances where I get where the paint's gone bad, which is unfortunate, but the good news is I got my money's worth out of it a long time ago, so I'm not that concerned. All right, so what are we going to do here? Let's get a eyedropper. Couple eyedroppers because I don't have to clean them right now. I don't know. Do I have the camera in the right spot? I don't. Move the stuff, dude. Okay. How's that? Is that better? And I'm probably going to end up using quite a bit. So I'm being somewhat generous with it. Okay. So there's that. Now, I'm just going to thin this with water this time. These, you can't thin these with alcohol. It doesn't work. Thing about acrylics that is really confusing is that acrylic doesn't necessarily mean water-based. It has to do with the way that it cures. And I you know, I used to know, and it wasn't important enough for me to remember, so I don't remember. And I thought I procrastinate. You mean on that Airbrush? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, well, you know. What do you do? Okay. Let's see. That's pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, I've already charged up my air compressor. And I'm running about 20 pounds. I'm going to turn it down a little. Oh. It works better if you plug the hose into the compressor. I was disconnected because it leaks out. That's about 15 pounds. That's 15 pounds at the tank, 6-foot hose or 10-foot hose, so you're not getting 15 pounds up here, but that's okay. We don't care. As long as it works, that's all we care about. Okay. Where are we? Ooh. It's my Spitfire. Oh yeah, nice. Okay. I can't find my gloves. I know I had like an almost brand new pack of gloves, and I can't find them. So I don't know where the heck they went, but anyway. So I'm just going to just kind of not really base coat it, but just kind of overcoat this thing with this, and then we'll come back with that blue-gray. And we're just, this is fantasy land, so we can do whatever we want with the pattern. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do a hard edge, like trapezoidal type, you know, geometric pattern, or if I want to actually do like just a soft edge, like the Israelis put on their early Mustangs and stuff that they had. Haven't decided. So I'm just, and I'm not gonna. I think I'm just gonna do the freehand version at this point. You guys haven't figured it out. I'm a lazy modeler, and as I've said many times, it's because this isn't my job. I'm relaxing. This is what I'm doing to relax. Don't get all caught up in all that crazy stuff. It's not worth it. All those RLM colors will drive you crazy. Ask me how I know. And I know I've told the story of me getting so wrapped up in RLM colors that I got so frustrated I quit building for a while. This is going to look pretty cool, I can already tell. But I don't know that I have any Israeli insignia. Ooh, I have some F-16 sheets, I think. Perfect. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Modern F-16 markings. Alright. So, do we want a black radome then? We might. I'm not sure. We might want a black radome. Okay, kids, I don't have a respirator on. So here's your disclaimer. Wear a respirator. This stuff is pretty safe, but it's still, you know, there's still airborne particles. And for those of you in California, I guess I should have a Prop 65 warning, huh? Anything that you do is going to cause cancer. God, I don't miss that place. I was just talking to another friend out there earlier, and he's telling me about all the new labor laws and stuff, and it's like, are you freaking kidding me? How do you even enforce some of that stuff? Don't get me started, right? You can't enforce a lot of it. But hey, you know, no politics. It's not really politics, it's just common sense. There's no politics involved with stupid stuff like that. Like, really? I'm trying to figure out what this color looks like. It almost looks like the Desert Storm sand color, huh? It's not far off. It would be close enough, I'm sure, if I was building like an Abrams or a Bradley or something. It would probably work just fine. So the tail area is natural metal, so I didn't, you know, I got some overspray back there, but there's really no paint back there. Okay. Now, where's this? There it is. This is right here. This is now. Spaceballs reference. This is now. That didn't quite work. But that will. That's fine. Okay. Look sand from here. Yeah, it's what do they call it? It is Israeli early tan. Okay, good enough. Now, the nice thing about this stuff is it's already dry. It's pretty much already dry. And I'm gonna, for the most part, it doesn't really matter about the covers because we're going to do like a freehand camo, but you know, you want to make sure that if there's some areas that you just didn't get real well, you want to go back and, you know, unless you're sure that that's where the camo pattern is going with the other color, which I'm not in this case, so I still got half of this left. I'm tempted to put it back in the jar. No. Never a good idea. And how many times have I told you, don't put it back in the jar? So I wouldn't be being, I would be being a, what is that? A hypocrite. Yeah, a hypocrite. Hippocrates. Okay. So. Dump. I'm going to take this and move this over here so that I know that I'm done with it. I'm going to put a bunch of water in here. Clean this thing out. So, I've talked about my compressor before. So I got this 8-gallon, 1-horse Harbor Freight Special here. And yeah, you'll get all this flack about it and whatnot. But, so I charged it up before I went live here, before we went on the air. And I just did all that. Wow, it's starting to turn pink. And it, at about 15 psi, I'm still over 90 psi. So that's what that's what I'm talking about when I keep saying that I don't run out of air. You know, it's not an issue. The thing being loud is not an issue because I can fill it up. You know, and I'm good for at least the evening, if not a few evenings. Just depends on how much I paint. But so, you know, don't worry too much about compressors. I mean, the main thing is that it's oilless, and if it's loud, you know, it's loud. I mean, if it's loud, it's loud. Deal with it. Tell everybody else to deal with it. I mean, if you're painting T-shirts or something and you're painting all the time, that's a whole different ball game. But that's not what we're doing here. So, I thought about doing T-shirts at one time, but I'm really not an artist. You know, that's why I used to do photography and didn't paint, because photography, you just have to know what looks good. You know, with painting, you have to have an imagination and actually come up with something on your own that looks good. Photography, you just have to go out in the world and find stuff that looks good. That's maybe a little thick still. I think we're good. Okay, let's see. a little too thin. Yeah, not really. Okay, so now for our pattern. I can't find my stupid gloves. I wish I could. I'm going to do a freehand. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across the nose here first. Whew, that came out a little bit faster than I expected. It's clogging. Not working as well as I wanted. Okay, stupid thing. It's drying on the tip like crazy. Drop the pressure a little. Nah. What are you doing to me, brush? Yeah. All right, hang on. Should clean it out better from the last color. I haven't used this polyscale stuff in a while. Bunch of crap on the needle. I dropped this needle like twice yesterday, but as far as I could tell, it's not bent. This is just regular old acetone in a bottle that I had that had fingernail polish remover in it originally, but it's just acetone in there now. Regular old hardware store acetone. Oh, I just sprayed my tape. Okay. Oh, wrong end, doofus. Okay. It's Still not great. All right, we're going to push through. Okay. And what here? Those patterns, they all kind of had the diagonals in the same direction, if I remember right. Now the trick is going to be to match this to the canopy. So it really doesn't touch the forward piece, but it comes across here. Pretty much this whole thing here. And then comes out right at the front. It's spitting. Okay, that's good. That'll work. Where's my bud? Oh yeah, look at all that crap. Okay. All right, next. Okay, so let's come in here now. Yeah, this stuff is spraying like crap right now. It's thin enough, I'm sure. Maybe not. Why is it bubbling like that? Because it's not thin enough? Oh, that's better. Yeah, this stuff is just not cooperating at all. It's okay. I'm gonna run with it. And yeah, there's a bunch of overspray, but you know, that'll work itself out when we get to the that'll work itself out when we excuse me. Oh, when we what, Jim? When we what? The weathering, the shading and stuff will take care of all of that. That's what I'm thinking. So don't worry about that. Oh my God, this is horrible. And you know what I should do? I should stop and fix this, but I'm not going to, because I'm that way. Okay. Look at that stuff. What is it doing? I must have an air leak up here. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. Yeah, it's splattering like crazy now. Okay, this is a really good example of how not to airbrush. And this back end's really bad. But that's okay, because then it gives us an opportunity to make it better through the next stages. And that's the stuff that makes it fun, right? It's like woodworking. When you build a table and everything goes fine, and it's like, well, that wasn't very much fun. This is the same way. Okay, that's it as far as that goes. Yeah, all of this stuff I can take care of. I'm not worried about that. I am, however, going to have to tear this airbrush down for sure. Whoa. Yeah, it's not spraying nothing. I wonder what the heck happened. Oh yeah, it's leaking out of the air cap. Okay. Alright. So that's something we will deal with later. I will take these, dump these out, and this, and those get acetone. Because acetone solves all problems. And I'll take these these glass pipettes, and they'll get rinsed out like I'm doing there. So there's that, and that guy can go in the trash, and we'll wipe this up. Okay, that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible, but it's okay, right? I mean, not a big deal. So now what? I don't know. I didn't plan that far ahead. Move this out of here. I guess all of the interior wells and stuff should be silver or white. I don't know. My guess would be white, but a lot of these that were in foreign service had silver interior on stuff from what I can tell, so I don't know. But yeah, that's cool. So now I need to I'm gonna have to find those decals. I have a binder that's got all my decals in it, so I'm gonna have to dig those up. I think I have some that were like supposed to be for an F-15 or something, and I'm gonna have to repaint this. And the big thing is this, like I said, this stuff is not an issue at all. I'll hit this with some sandpaper and polish that stuff out, so I'm not worried about that. But so yeah, so let's move this off to the side here for a while. And I don't know whether I need to do the nose of it black or not. I don't think so. I think it looks pretty cool though. That's gonna be pretty cool. Okay. Next project. This giant monstrosity of a thing. I've actually done a video on this on the research I did to change this Midway kit to a Coral C. Now this is an interesting kit, I guess. You can see it's set up to be a toy. And I started cutting parts off and whatnot. But the bottom line is this flight deck is gonna need some modifications. So what I'm gonna do is grab my Sharpie and start looking at those modifications. So I have some charts here, or top views that have plan views of the flight deck, if I can find them. And let's take a look here. Document CV43. No, that's the Midway. Yeah, so basically, let me get the where are you guys? There you are. Desktop. Ah, wow, that's freaky. Look at that. Where am I? Down here. Boom. Okay, so So there's a whole lot of different stuff here. So let me flip this around, and I don't need this here right now. So bottom line is, this actually gets extended out here, it looks like. Ruler. So this gets carried across. And it gets carried across, it looks like, out to, well, actually, these aren't as deep, are they? These elevators are a lot deeper. So these actually need to get cut back. Both of these elevators need to get cut back, it looks like. Oh wait, and that's, the blast deflectors are too far back. See, this is the problem with doing stuff like this, is you have to figure out, you have to make choices of what you want to fix and what you don't want to fix. Or what's worth fixing. So I'm going to take this here. Yeah, see, these are a lot longer. But this needs to be cut back about like this. So this needs to come out. And then it looks like this so that thing comes back to about here, and this comes off too. Okay, that is really the major feature for me that makes this look wrong. So if I fix nothing else but this to me is like 80% of the battle, because that's what my eye is drawn to, that looks different. So this is obviously different. This is larger. This area is larger, and actually this should have an extension out like this. So this should be extended out, and I think these should be shortened, and then it's pretty close. So for me, this is the big guy right here, and I can fix this pretty easily. Let me see this hole. Yeah, see, that's got to come out to about here. So put another thing in here, put a thing in here, and cut this out, and it's good enough for me. And I'm obviously going to have to modify this bouncing down here. So yeah, so the big thing with something like this is you have to, let me get this drawing out of here. You have to not be afraid of it. That's really the big thing, is you have to not be afraid of it. Not let it, not let it dictate to you what it's going to be. You need to dictate to it what it's going to be, right? So I'll just take something like my Tamiya Scriber here, or my JLC saw, or both, and cut these out. And I'll add some styrene in here and here. And I have to scrape these hole numbers off because these aren't correct. And then put it all together. And that's the way of the world with it. It's not... What am I thinking? The hardest thing about doing a conversion or doing something like this is just getting over the fact of cutting into it. And once you've done it a few times, it gets a lot easier. And that may sound silly, but it's true. It gets easier to just start hacking into something. Now, is it nerve-wracking to hack into something that's fairly expensive? Yeah. Is it nerve-wracking to hack into a Monogram V29 so that you can put a Edward Big Ed set into it? No, because the donor kit is not that expensive. All the stuff that you're adding to it is, and I can only speak for myself, but so for me, there's not a whole lot of stress on that because the donor kit can be easily replaced. But something like this, first of all, these are hard to come by. Second of all, I didn't buy it, and third of all, it's for somebody that served on a ship. So it's kind of, it has some value, some value other than just what it is. I will, on that note, I will tell anybody that builds models, and whether it's military stuff or cars or whatever, you should really build something and present it to somebody, and it's not always appreciated, so you have to be careful who you're doing it for. But usually it is, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. I've done a couple of stuff in the past for some World War II vets, and they were pretty happy, and it was fun, and it was nice to see them see their brains start remembering things, and anyway, it's if you ever get the opportunity, I would suggest you take it, because it's definitely worth your time. Yeah. So I didn't get as much squared away down here as I thought, because I spent a good part of my day working on the kitchen. My wife's out of town. Her father is having surgery, and so I did not what am I saying? I didn't spend as much time down here as I wanted to. I spent a lot of time trying to put a above the range microwave in, which wasn't the problem. The problem is there's never been one there, and the upper cabinet won't go back in, so I need to put a shelf above. I didn't realize the thing needed a shelf to connect to. And so I didn't buy a shelf, and being that I live in a rural area, it's not like I could just, you know, I got to drive 30 or 40, well, 40 or 60 miles to get what I need to get a shelf. So yeah. Yeah, so there's that line. Okay, we're going to do this. You know what? I'm just going to use this. My dog. What are you doing, dog? Is that they're barking at somebody or something? I'm putting a lot of pressure on this thing because I want to cut through. And we're almost through. You can see on the back side when it starts coming through. Come back over here. Okay. Oops. Went outside of my line, scratched it. Getting a little crazy here. Once you do that, you're pretty much committed to it. Sucks. Okay, there's the first cut. Second one. Okay. Oh, I have to send a picture of this to my brother-in-law. He'll be like, ah, no. You're cutting it into pieces. Yeah, I know. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. That blade was already broke. Just a matter of time. I need to order some of those things and I just never do it. And that was the coarse side of the blade, of course. And I'm going to file this out. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to have to hit this with a file and clean up the edges. Figure out how I'm going to have to redo the sponson and all that stuff. And there we are. So far, so good. I'll do this real quick, but I really need to go out and get. You really want to use something like a bastard file or something that you know has got a nice edge on it. But for the most part, that's all the cutting. Now it probably looks like I totally screwed it up, but hopefully that's not true. It's possible. It's possible that I just completely screwed it up. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. You know, it's like buying a new car. When you get a new car and that first dent sucks. But when the first dent's over with, you're good to go. All right? So, I think we're going to stop there. I'm going to go do some other stuff. Maybe go work on the kitchen. I got to let that dry out anyway. I don't know that I have any sheet that's thick enough for this to do these extensions here. I think I'm going to have to get some different sheet plastic, but this was even though it didn't take that long, this is a major accomplishment. And at this point, you're committed, right? I mean, you're committed. There you are. You're committed. So hey, that's it for this week. Hopefully next week I will be more prepared, maybe, and we'll go from there. I had a little bit of a crazy weekend this week, so yeah, I'll trying to think what I got to do tomorrow. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Take care of the people you love, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Let's just stick on.